What up, everybody? Welcome back to Henshin. We're the YouTube Gratitude. I'm Jared.
And I'm Mike.
And we are joined by, very prolific, surprisingly very, very tough and process to kick your asses. I'm afraid. I'm going to be on my best behavior. Yeah. Extra Filipino from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Sabrina Lu. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh man, thank you for taking the time out to let us interview you.
Oh yes, and if you guys think I was joking about that, I'm very serious. She's very, very good at kicking all the ass.
Happy anniversary to you guys too. What inspired you guys to start doing this?
Ooh, wow.
Jared, you want to go into that?
All right. I guess it's a fun story to tell. I like telling this story to people. We started this one. Officially started this 3 years ago, but this is like a whole 10 years now forming out of wanting to do comics and animation. So I was like, oh, we should start a YouTube channel, and didn't start getting serious about it until up to 3 years ago, where we had a plan of oh, we like Power Rangers, we like anime, we like video games. Why not just do all of that? And now, here we are. Happy 3rd anniversary!
And then I'd say about a couple of years ago, I think it was, I don't know if it was you or another one of our friends came up to me and all that jazz.
So how many is it? Just you two, or is there a group of you guys?
There's multiple of us, but some of our other members are actually working today. So good luck, fellas.
Be safe.
We're thinking about you.
So do you guys do? So since you have a broader range of interests and everything, do you guys do different cons for anime and for?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Definitely. I've been going to different cons and stuff beforehand, but then I just do anything and everything. Especially me, I just love almost everything. So I make it a point to just go.
And me, I've always wanted to go to Comic Cons and everything else. And actually, I believe it was 2013, or it was my first New York Comic Con, actually.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there I actually met Jason David Frank. He was
nice.
Yeah, he was actually the first Ranger. He was actually the first Ranger actor that I actually met face to face.
Ah, okay. Yeah, no, and he's doing some nice Instagram live interviews and stuff like that. Have you guys been watching?
Yeah. Oh, I've been watching a lot of Instagram live, a lot more than I normally would.
Right. Yeah. Same here. I think that's kind of the cool thing right now. Everybody's been very because they have more time at home, so they're producing more content and that sort of thing, which is nice to keep everybody kind of entertained while regular television is kind of find its way, in this situation.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's why I found, at least in my mind, I found it lucky that Shout Factory, the lovely people who gave us Power Rangers on DVD in the full set, came up with a whole TV channel to watch nothing but old school tokusatsu.
Oh wow!
I find that fun. Then let's see. I see a comment from Never Catch Me. Oh, I guess to add on to our story, our friend Stan is also a reason why we're doing this today, and he knows I'm looking for him because 2 years ago, for our first anniversary, we ate spicy ramen due to losing a bet, and he's been hiding from me since because he knows I'm gonna find him and I'm gonna hurt him.
He's been trying to get me to do the spicy ramen challenge as well.
Oh gosh, that just sounds scary.
It's a lot worse than.
Derek, look.
Oh, it's Ryan. Oh, I guess he's not working today. Hey, Ryan. Hey,
yo.
There we go.
So,
What we
Ryan,
got here?
this is Ryan, Sabrina, Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
And Armani.
Aww.
Yeah, Ryan. You remember our first anniversary, right, Ryan? The ramen.
Oh, don't remind me.
Now you
Oh,
just throw it out as punishment.
it's a life lesson to don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay.
Well, don't make a bet where we both lose at the same time.
I didn't know. That's why I didn't want to. I'm not gonna start nothing here. Who's to blame?
You started it.
You,
You're the one
Jared.
who made the challenge bet.
You, Jared.
Admittedly, yes, but I didn't think it was gonna go in that route.
I didn't think we both lose.
I didn't think that either.
Wait,
Well,
what was
here
the
we
bet
are.
anyways? That's what I want to know. Whoop.
But yeah, so first
What was
question
that anyways?
for Sabrina. Well, Michael, you know the questions more than I do.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well, first off, Sabrina, again, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule. How did you come across the role of Scorpina?
Okay. That's a great question, actually. So generally in LA or anywhere with casting or filming or anything, they'll send out just a description or a breakdown of the characters they're looking for.
Right.
So since Power Rangers was already up and filming, so this is like the second season, so I had already heard of the show and basically a description that fit, so they'll say female needs to play this age range, that kind of thing. And it was for Power Rangers. So my agent at the time, who's still a good friend, let me know that this audition was happening. He sent in my headshot. So nowadays, it's kind of interesting because it's been a long time, right? It's 26, 27 years now.
Yeah.
Something like that. So back then it was you actually physically mailed in or couriered messengered a physical headshot, and they were black and white, and on the back you had your resume that listed your credits, just details like that. So nowadays this is all done through electronic submissions. Everything can be color, video. I mean, your actual submissions are a lot more technologically advanced than they were back then. And then, so then the casting director would go through and, where'd everybody go? Okay.
Wrong, because I want to give you more.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, that's all right. We're all just moving around. Okay. So, they would look through and pick who they wanted to have come in and read the lines. So that's pretty much, the beginning of that process. So I remember sitting in one of, the casting director's office, and you sit in this waiting room, and it's always kind of surreal because you're sitting in a room basically of people that fit the general demographic of you, right? So, this is like a long time ago, but I still know some of the people that were sitting in that room because even before there, a lot of this is like different casting director offices, different shows, all that kind of stuff. But we basically were kind of playing the same role. Like these days, people try to be very open and multicultural and stuff like that. But back then, they were pretty specific.
Right.
Yeah, because I remember I auditioned for Power Rangers a few times. Yeah,
exactly. So usually they'll especially because in this case specifically, they needed someone who could play a role that was already being portrayed in the series by the Japanese footage. So
Right,
the
right.
thing was, they couldn't just cast someone that looked completely different from her because they needed to sort of follow the character's, plot line and that sort of thing. But since the plot involved Scorpina disguising herself as a student, and I thought it was funny when I got to the audition and the actual script, the little side, like a basic side. They actually wrote on it Scorpina / Sabrina. And I thought, that's really interesting. They've actually written my name on the sides. That's so nice of them. And then I noticed that everybody had that. And I realized that that was actually what they had decided the character, in the high school student form would be Sabrina. And so I don't actually know this to be true because I've never talked directly to the person that wrote the episode or anything. But I have my own little theory that either it was just this amazing coincidence, or as they were looking through those old-fashioned headshots, they saw, my name and thought, well, that'd be a good character name for her when she's human because it has so many similarities to the name Scorpina. So
right. See, we were talking about this earlier. Like, hold up, her character's name is Sabrina, and it fits because it rhymes with Scorpina. But then it's like, did they do this on purpose, or is like, because you were there? It's like, oh, she fits this description. We'll just name her Sabrina, make it a lot easier.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure, but I've always thought maybe that's what happened. They were like thumbing through the headshots and thinking, we could use this name. So basically from that day, I don't know exactly, but let's say there were like 20 of us that they chose to read the lines. Then from that 20, so we went in front of the casting director. I don't remember if anyone else was there, a director or a producer, anybody. And then they chose 2 of us from there to call back. And then the callbacks took place at the actual studios where they were shooting Power Rangers at the time. And you did your lines again, but this time we actually put the costume, the actual costume on. Because I think the most important piece of the puzzle here was that we, A, fit the suit, and B, that we looked enough like the character. So there was all those things in play. A little bit different from like auditioning for a character that you would be creating from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Like auditioning for a character that you have to kind of know. And to be honest, I wasn't like, watching a ton of Power Rangers at the time. So I didn't really, I was already an adult. So most of the people watching the show at that time, now we're all like adults watching all the shows. But at that time, it was Saturday mornings, or it was on at the time when kids were watching it. So I knew of the show, but I hadn't watched it. So I would just, kind of following my gut with who I felt like the character was. And apparently looked enough like her and fit the suit. So I was kind of like, well, I used to watch Brady Bunch when I was little, and so that always like rang in my head when he was Johnny Bravo and he fit the suit. And that's when we got the part. So I would say that's definitely a part of it. A piece of the puzzle is just.
Well, actually, I'll bring up the next one. What was it like? What, like putting on the suit? Like, how did that process go?
Well, luckily they were made really well. I think because she had done so much. It was the same. They brought the costumes over from Japan,
right?
The monsters. So since she had done so much in it, as far as like martial arts and all that stuff, it was very. For armor and for all those things, it was actually quite comfortable. Soft materials, so you could move, but to look like actual armor. So it wasn't too bad. You just sort of step into it, and I felt kind of lucky because I know the person that was Pulsar, that was a lot.
Oh yeah, it looked like you had to like
be
be built to hold on to that.
Question. Actually, what have you been doing? Like, what have you been up to after Power Rangers?
Okay, yeah, so after Power Rangers, I continued acting for a little while. I got married. I had 4 kids. We're all here in California still. I'm born and raised in California. The only time I ever left was I did theater back east the summer after college. So, but that was before. That was pre-Power Rangers. That's kind of. I started off with dancing in high school and enjoyed that a lot. And then in college, I started singing. And I really wanted to do a musical called A Chorus Line. So I started singing because I thought, well, I can sing and dance. I could maybe do this musical someday. And so I got lucky enough to do it. And then from there, I went on and did a whole summer of musical theater. We did like 9 shows or something in like a summer. It was like a huge immersion thing. You would definitely come out of that either loving or hating being on the stage. And I think all of us came out loving it because that program, our professionally and stuff. So it's kind of actually impressive considering how long ago that was. And then I was working for my dad. And then my youngest son has autism, so we actually opened a sensory gym. We rock our location. It's actually a nationwide thing. No, worldwide. Am I kidding? It's actually worldwide now. But our little one is in Southern California, and they're not open to the public right now, obviously. Yeah. So, but that kept me really busy, helping with my dad's business. Really busy, and just the raising the kids. Although they're very self-sufficient, so. Yeah. I mean, that age that you're going with right there, that's a lot of work, that age there. But right now, mine are 13 to 20. So
they're just kicking back right now.
Right. So I would say the biggest chunk of my time since Power Rangers has been, being a mom, and that's been,
that's still an amazing thing right there. Yeah. Shout out to all moms out there. We wouldn't be here without them. So. Remember to think about
it. And randomly, I ran into Steve Cardenas.
Oh,
that's how I got hooked back into like the Power Rangers community. I knew 2 of his sisters. So one of his sisters married a friend of ours, and then another one was working for my parents' company, and then so we ran into each other. I think I can't remember if it was at the wedding or right before, or how exactly. But that's when we got connected again, and then he's like, you should do the Power Morphicon, and I think he shot me the email address, and I was like, wow, that would be kind of fun. So that's what got me back into the Power Rangers community, because you kind of like go away from it, since I had I lucked out. I got to do one great episode in the 2nd season, and because she's such a well-known character, I get to still be part of this whole Power Rangers fandom and everything like that. So it's kind of cool. I really like to stay for a series, or actually series of series, kind of thing, to have gone this long, to still be producing new versions of Power Rangers. And
that'll actually go into my next question.
Before that, Michael, since you're from SoCal, I have to ask this to everybody: In-N-Out or Whataburger?
I've never had. myself. So I would have to go for In-N-Out. I would say my my I don't know if anyone keeps that though, now that I think about it, but I saw it. We were in Austin, Texas, and I saw, Whataburger there. But I know that my kids like my son really likes the French fries. That's probably one of his favorite places for French fries.
I can concur. Myself and I can both concur. In-N-Out fries are fantastic.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I think the whole aspect of them being so where you're watching the potato actually be thrown in, into the oil, and I don't know, deep fried fresh potato with a bunch of salt. It just seems like there's not really many ways you could go wrong with that. So,
I mean, I know a few people who's made French fries, and yeah.
Oh, I miss In-N-Out.
No, I've never had In-N-Out. I never.
Oh, really? Do they? It's not all the way across the country.
No, unfortunately.
No, only me and Jared been to California since.
Yeah. Rub it in, Ryan. Rub it in.
But there is a California thing that we do have on the East Coast, but that's down in Florida, which is Del Taco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do have that.
Yeah, I grew up walking distance from a Del Taco, so I knew that more than I knew the burger places way back when, just because you could walk there after school and everything. So that was a little bit more popular for us in Southern California, anyway. But that's good. I'm glad you guys have most of it. You have Whataburger, and I've heard good things. I just never had it, so I can't.
I'll stick with In-N-Out. I think
burger and fries, but nothing wrong with a fresh taco.
Oh,
tacos are life.
Okay. Michael, back to your question.
My favorite thing growing up from Del Taco was actually, the funny thing is they don't call it this anymore, but it used to be called the Del Meat Burrito. But then there was that whole thing where people were questioning what meat people were so they changed it to Del Beef. But when I was little, it was the Del Meat Burrito, and you just hoped it was meat, whatever. So
you just like that mystery meat at school, just
exactly. You just trusted that it tasted good, and you just went with it. But now everybody's kind of more concerned, so it's now called the Del Beef Burrito and stuff like that.
Okay.
A little history lesson for you Del Taco fans.
That's right.
Okay, so
something to look forward to when going back to California. Why not?
Yeah. So, would you ever come back as a villain, a mentor, or just make a cameo as Scorpina?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that would be a ton of fun. I still live in Southern California, so depending on where they with family and stuff, I don't think I would be able to take a couple of them with me. I would fly out to New Zealand or something like that. But for sure, I would. I mean, at this point, they could have her do a Zoom visit, have Scorpina visit via Zoom, and
it's I'm taking over your technology now.
That's right.
Or have Scorpina be the new Rita.
Yes, yeah, that would be cool.
I mean, it would fit the motif of next year's season being dinosaur all over again. So I was like, who knows? Never know, people.
Yeah, why not?
Hasbro, there's an idea.
Yeah, that's right. Promote Scorpina, just
Scorpina for next year's season confirmed.
That's right.
Please.
Oh, was I not supposed to spoil that?
Oh, spoiler. Well. Oh man, but hold on,
also, I have to ask: did you do your own stunts when you were on Power Rangers?
I did. I think it was interesting because the other, okay, so at the time, this is old school, second season, right? So there was an entire stunt team because so when the Rangers, a lot of times when the Rangers were fighting, they were actually their stunt doubles, even though obviously you had incredible martial artists. on there, right?
Right.
When they were in full costume, they were often this work together. They, they could do the fight choreography for whatever reason, but because for Pina, since my face was showing, they had to use me, which is why if you watch that episode, they really do very much. They didn't do a ton because, they're all, professional stunt people working together. They were super nice, but I'm sure part of it was like, okay, we don't want her to get hurt. So, at one time it was like, okay, just kind of run around the edges of the fight and like put your weapon in here and there, kind of thing. And then when the White Ranger kicks us, that one was probably the most like stunting thing, which was just basically fall backwards and land on this mattress.
Yeah, we were actually, me and my son were actually watching that episode early.
Yeah, we watched it. And in the wrestling community, we call that taking a bump.
Okay, yes, yeah, so that's exactly what. That was probably the most intricate of the stunts. The other stuff was just doing more martial arts and things like that. Which at the time I had. Mostly I was a dancer, so that's why even very sort of like
so she does her own stunts.
Awesome sauce.
Hey, strong advocate of In-N-Out and Del Taco. You got anything else, Michael?
Okay. This is for when you like go to conventions. Like, what is it? What is it like? Meeting the fans and them telling you that you've had an impact on them, even though it was just one episode.
Yeah, I think that's been the most amazing thing. It's first of all, I've learned more about the Power Rangers from the fans than I ever knew, like on my own from being on the show or from anything else. And so I love that it's such a strong fandom because it's still going on. And so obviously the primary group of fans are about, in their 30s now, but I love that they're still into the show and that all of it is available on Netflix. I think that's been kind of, neat because then if you didn't have the DVD set, you can still watch the older episodes.
When me and my wife first met, I told her off the bat I'm a huge Power Ranger fan. She's like, "What is Power Rangers?" So I literally had to sit there with her and watch Mighty Morphin all the way from episode 1 to
to whenever it ended.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, exactly. I've been really enjoying, the first Power Morphicon that I went to. It was kind of funny because my kids were like, "You guys want to go?" And they all were like, "Eh." And then
oh, they don't care about Power Rangers. It's like, what? Why would I do that? What?
One of my sons decided to go that, and so he ended up being, in part, like especially in the background or in different parts of like interviews that ended up on YouTube. And so that was cool. And then I said, well, here's some, that was so small that basically from my table, I could see the floor. Like this was, I don't remember exactly what year, but it was small enough, maybe 2012, I'm not sure, but it was where we could see the whole convention floor. So I'm like, okay, if you want to go get a couple souvenirs, go for it. And here, I gave him like spending money. Mm-hmm. So he came back with it was either Pokemon or Star Wars. Yeah, Power Rangers at all. So it was Pokemon and Star Wars. And I realized that when they were really small, I was like, well, I don't want them to see mommy kicking somebody or being evil. So I had never really shown them Power Rangers. They were a little young for it at the time. When it, and so it was kind of one of those funny things. Like looking back, obviously, Power Rangers is so tame compared to what's on TV now, right? But at the time, I was like, well, I don't want them to see the violence of mommy being evil, like that. But it's kind of
woman just gotta lay her down.
oh, okay.
But I think it would have been very useful to show them to be like, hey, you don't clean your room, this will happen to you.
That's right. That's right. The fear approach would have been good. I might turn into an alien or a giant scorpion, and then you'll be in big trouble. So.
I find that tactic very useful. But like, so you brought your sons to the conventions ever since then. Do they enjoy going now, or is it like, yeah?
I think so. I mean, I hope so, because they do come of their free will, so I usually don't force them. So the first couple, I'd always try to bring extra reinforcement to help with my youngest, but actually he's really great. He sat for the last one. I mean, his siblings walked him around and took him places and things like that. But some of them. Like when we did Kamikaze, which is now the LA Comic-Con, we did that one year. Definitely needed somebody for that because that was huge, and we had kind of a small table for that one. Like the Rangers were in like one little spot, so that was a little tougher. These days, like for Power Morphicon, we get such nice big booths and Ranger stop. I mean, you get like a handler and like all of that stuff. So. We're basically spoiled, and we love. I know I love getting to see the fans and talking to them, and it's kind of neat because with social media, you're kind of connected all the time, and then when you get to actually see each other in person here and there, it's good. But that's the only ones I've done. I've done Power Morphicon, the local ones, like I did Kamikaze once, and then I did Ranger stuff once. It's a bigger flight and more of a, time commitment.
I think out of all of us here, I think Ryan's more of a master at the convention, Ryan. So can you impart some wisdom?
I mean, what you want to know, because for most conventions, you obviously have to go there with a plan, like, because there's different panels, different timings. So obviously, the first thing you need to do is get a guidebook. But anything specific, I could go on like forever with this kind of stuff.
Actually, I guess panels. I want to think there's been like an all villains panel at Morphicon, if my memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, those are the best. Actually, I love the villain panels. First year, Power Morphicon's villain panel, everyone else was voice actors. So there was me, and then everybody else was the voice actors, and they are so incredibly talented. And so all of the questions were basically for people because they wanted to hear Rita's voice, they wanted to hear Goldar's voice, they wanted to hear, and truly, Robert Axelrod was there. Like everybody was there to do the voices, and now looking back, it was really kind of a historic time because we won't be able to obviously gather the exact group again. But it was fun because I got to do voices.
Oh, okay. So she. Have you ever tried voice acting, or would you ever consider doing voice acting?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I love. I think because I also sing. It's always been something that I'm trying to do more of. But it's great in that it's a little bit less time commitment than on screen. So, but it's difficult. It's difficult to get into and to do that. I mean, they're amazingly talented because you have to do with your voice everything you would do with your whole body language and everything else too. So, but certainly getting to do characters like that is awesome.
Okay. We have some comments here, some questions in the comment section. Okay. From a drama Ventura, let's say if they were making a Ranger Slayer or MMPR adaptation, would you be open to returning to the voice over Scorpina again?
Oh, I totally would. I am guessing they would probably ask Wendy Lee to do it first, just because she did all of the
Oh, right. She was the voice for like the Sentai footage.
right,
Right.
right. So but if they needed like Sabrina's voice for sure, and I would do because I think we both said a bunch of those lines and toward the end, but it's just a matter of whether they wanted to go with the more of the monstrous sound that everybody was used to, which was a little bit more like, evil, piercing kind of sound. So she's really incredible.
Mm.
I mean, it's been the other thing about the conventions is getting to meet, people like that, because we never met in person, right?
Wow.
So you don't necessarily get to ever meet the voiceover actors until you get to do.
Right. It's like a little behind the scenes things, like most actors in film and media or like anything don't usually meet until like during like press tours or conventions and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anything animated, you would probably only see if you recorded your scenes together for some reason, but otherwise, a lot of that stuff you're not meeting until later. And then even when you work on a TV show or anything, sometimes they'll do like a table read, so you'll hear the whole thing and you'll see all the actors. But usually you're only going to interact with the people. So things are like spelled out for you, like what day you're on set and all of that kind of stuff. And so I can't even remember if I don't think I had any scenes with Jason David Frank. So I don't recall us ever meeting in person during that time. So I had scenes with pretty much the rest of the cast at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Another question in the comment section was, Sabrina, what is it like to work with the other actors from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
They were all, I mean, we were all young, but I'll be honest, they were younger than I was. So they were all really, really nice. And I remember when they said, okay, so we need you to do this martial arts kata. And I was like, okay. And I kind of was a little clueless as to what I should do. But luckily, I believe Steve and Johnny were, happy to like help. And so they helped choreograph that or put that together.
Because honestly, it looked like you, like when you first were introduced, you were doing your kata. It looked like you were doing it for like years beforehand. I'm like, this stuff might really kick your ass.
Yeah, basically we put that together right before, and then they're like, okay, let's shoot it. So then we shot it, and then during like a week later or whatever it was, they're like, okay, we need you to come in and do the voiceover for your episode. And I'm like, oh, okay. And they said, okay, during the martial arts kata, we need you to be vocalizing. And I said, what do you mean? And they said, well, you need to go, ha, yeah, you need to add all of those sounds for
right.
sounds. And I said, I didn't know I needed to do that. And then my mouth is closed because I just, being a dancer, I wasn't really even thinking about the fact that I should be making like, yeah, making all these sounds. So how we covered that is if you watch that scene, every time I'm facing the back, I'm making the sound, so you can't see my face. I go, facing the front, all you ever hear me do facing the front is,
well,
so
that's actually, wow. Okay, now I'm thinking back about it. I'm like, that did happen. That's actually really smart.
Yeah, that is smart. Oh, Jared left. Technical difficulties again.
Oh, what's that?
Have you stayed quiet during your katas or no?
Oh, sorry.
My katas? You talking to me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No. this is a little vocal. But anyways, for katas, yes, especially when doing strikes, but not with every strike. So basically, if you're like do the 1-2 after 3, you do a kya afterwards. So it's timed.
Yeah.
You just don't place it with every single punch. Yeah, like some teams do.
I guess they were going more for like that more animated type of kata just to appeal to the younger masses.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that the vocalization is mostly, I could be totally wrong here, but a lot of that is in karate.
Yeah.
And so, because when my sons took karate, that was a big thing, was that, when you do your big, yeah, something. I don't recall that when I was doing Kung Fu, right? So I think that was, I didn't do a ton, so, but I remember thinking, oh, it didn't even dawn on me that I should be doing strikes and making all those kinds of,
Yeah, and also, my brother-in-law pointed out, the sound effects is also in Taekwondo as well.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense to like add that because your body is expelling energy and you want to that sort of thing. So
Okay.
It's like a burst of energy sometimes.
Yeah. Because I don't know how to use this. StreamYard doesn't like me.
It doesn't like any of us right now.
I've tried.
Oh.
I give up. But I don't know, Ryan, do you have any questions?
No, not much. I'm just here to enjoy the crowd.
You guys, if anybody thinks of anything that they want to ask, for sure.
Try Zoom next time, possibly. I guess my question is like, have you like aside from all the amazing things you've done, like, have you picked up like any other like hobbies?
Well, I would say I really would love, to be honest, I would love to learn sign language to the point of being able to be, fluent in that. I think it's just, first of all, a beautiful language, but also, yeah, that's something I would love to do more of. I've done a little bit because it helps my son to vocalize when he has like a movement to go with it. And so why not have that movement have meaning with actual sign language?
Yeah.
And then also we're all kind of hoping to work on playing instruments. I've been a singer for a long time, but have never been good at practicing an instrument enough to get at it. So I'm hoping to be able to more into that.
Awesome. So you're trying to start a family band?
What?
You're trying to start a family band?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we do. We have a ton of instruments here. My husband can play pretty much any instrument he puts his hand.
I need to learn how to play the guitar.
Yeah, guitar, all those strings, all of it. I would love to do that. So, I mean, hobbies I currently have, I do probably, singing, yoga, stuff like that. Hobbies I'd like to incorporate would be piano, actually learning to play bass guitar. I feel like more realistically, having less strings is going to be in my favor. So that's where I'm going. And my husband got me one for my birthday a few years back. So I'd like to work on that. So, future goals.
So got fan comment asking about your thoughts on the hyper RPG persona of your character Scorpita as a hidden librarian in the Power Rangers Hyper Force.
Oh, that's awesome. I had not heard of that. So I think that's great. I've always said they should come up with something where she was just hiding out on Earth, like her and Gold are in human form somehow. And they are like, soccer parents, and they just...
I've had that thought too, because I'm like, hold up. In the Sentai, Goldar and Scorpina are married. They have a family. So I guess now it's confirmed. Like after everything that happened with them, they just started up a family.
Yeah, see, that would be an easy segue. So someone needs to write that up.
Definitely. Let's see.
I guess one more question out of me. What was the
I think Jared froze.
He froze.
Did you hear the end of the question? I missed it.
Yeah, I think he froze.
Oh, okay.
But
So that question will just have to be a mystery for right now.
But I'm trying to think. Oh my goodness, I have so many questions, and then next thing you know, it just popped out of my brain. Yeah, it happens. Just with, oh man.
Well, you know what? Also, I think internet and streaming and all that. Everybody's doing more of it, so I think that's not helping anything either because people are trying to. We're all online even more than we were before. As if we weren't all online a lot before. And so I think that's all of the streaming platforms are probably having, and internet providers and all of that are probably having their own little issues going on.
Yeah. Well, hold on. I have Jared calling me. Hold on. What's up? I think it just kicked you out, dude.
No,
yeah.
Mommy needs this. Andrew, Mommy needs this. Mommy has
What
to go
happened?
bye-bye. I gotta go bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye, honey.
Well, I guess that's a wrap for everything.
Okay, great.
Okay, well, Sabrina, thank you so much for coming to interview us and for us interviewing you. Well, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to all of our social media, and don't forget to subscribe to Sabrina's social media. Until then, everyone, stay safe, peace, love, and spread kindness.
I don't know.
Bye. Stay safe, everybody.
Okay.